Okay, here's how to actually blend your eyeshadow. Number one, stop gripping your brush so hard. Not trying to scrub it into our eye. Where you hold your brush and like how tightly you grip it, it's going to affect how much pressure you're putting on your eye, which affects the color payoff and how it's going to blend. Rough pressure does not equal a soft blend. In fact, that makes no sense if you say it out loud. Instead, we're going to hold the brush way back here near the tip and just very lightly go against our eye, like I'm just grazing the eye. Number two, use different movements for different shadows. I would say use the big circular motions when you're trying to really blend out these edges. Back and forth is universal, but you have to change your pressure like we talked earlier. Change your pressure, change your angle of your brush. The brush like this, sometimes I'm going to go back and forth this way. Sometimes I'm going to turn my brush if I want to get it a little more up here. For maximum pigmentation, you want to be doing the dab and swipe kind of action. That way you get like a nice solid amount of pigment and then you kind of dab it just to like blend it out a little bit. I like doing that with shimmer shades or if I want like an all matte kind of coverage thing going on. Flicking is another good one, especially when you're trying to like blend out this outer corner. If you really want it to like be out like this, really think about flicking it out here. Direction is just as important too, because if you want it to be blown out, circular or flicking out here. You want it to be more like in and round, maybe do some circular inward. I also like to do the flicking motion when I'm doing a shadow liner, so I'll stamp it on first and then do a little flick, 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 flick on the edges just to really soften that up. Number three, use the right brush shape for how deep and precise you want the pigment to be. Not all brushes are created equally, and you can use multiple brushes with the same shade to make more depth and have like a nicer blend. For example, I'm about to go into my inner corner, and if I wanted it to be like super intense and dense, I would use a pencil brush like this, but I kind of want it to be a little bit more effortless coming from my lash line. So I'm going to take this brush instead, which is small, so it's precise, but it's a little bit more like fluffy and tapered out. So it's going to help give a little softer blend. And I'm also not going to use a lot of pressure. Look how far away I'm holding my brush so far. And I'm just grazing against my eye. Literally, this is what I'm doing. Number four, less is more. We don't need to be going in here and like loading the brush crazy with some pigment. Just coating your brush just enough, tapping off any excess, and then going in really light-handed will get the job done. And sometimes you don't even need to go back in with more pigment. Just go in with a previous brush you were using and help effortlessly blend those edges out. Which leads me to number five, is there is no one order to do your eyeshadow. Some people like to start with the deeper shades and then slowly blend the edges out. I don't really like to do that. None for me. I'm not as good as that. But don't be afraid to go back to other shades. Add a little bit more. Try to blend out a little bit more. Even if you want to go back in with a deeper shade after you've gone within a lighter shade because you're like, oh, I blended a little bit too much away. That's okay. There's no one order. Just go back and forth. Do whatever you feel like you need to do to get the blend you want. Makeup tutorials are more of like a guidance. It's not an exact, you have to do it exactly like that. No, make it what you want. If you're struggling with blending your eyeshadow, just practice. Take these tips. Do what you want with them. And if you have more questions or want me to go in more depth about any of these, just let me know.